Testing out new fragrance oils is one of the most exciting parts of the candle or soap making process, so let's go over the steps to take when evaluating a new scent. Just a quick note, I'm going to be using a few terms commonly used when discussing fragrance, so if you come across one you're not familiar with, you can always check out this video here. The very first time you'll probably smell a fragrance is right out of the bottle. Out-of-bottle impressions are the easiest and fastest introduction to a fragrance, but they're not necessarily indicators of the full experience a scent has to offer. Because top notes evaporate the quickest, they tend to dominate the scent profile straight out of the bottle. They can be overwhelming and tend to mute the middle and base notes, which can leave you with a skewed perception of the actual scent profile. While out-of-bottle impressions are valuable and important, they should never be the only step you take when testing new fragrance oils. The next step would be to use blotter strips. Blotter strips provide a neutral medium for smelling and evaluating fragrance oils. To use a blotter strip, just dip the paper into the bottle until some of the fragrance is absorbed. Then let it dry for about 10 seconds before smelling the scent. This method allows the fragrance to air out and the components to evaporate in a more gradual manner, giving you a more balanced impression of the scent profile. If you don't have blotter strips on hand, cotton swabs are a good alternative in a pinch. Just make sure they are made of paper and cotton, because fragrance can degrade certain plastics. While blotter strips definitely give you a more complete picture, they can't fully predict what a fragrance will smell like once it's in a final product like candles or soap, for example. So the final step is to test the fragrance in your products. Let's talk about candles first. When testing a new fragrance in candles, you'll be evaluating the cold and hot throw. The cold throw evaluation is the best way to experience a fragrance as your customers would, as this mimics the shopping experience of smelling unlit candles. But to get the complete picture, you'll want to burn the candle to test the hot throw. You will notice differences when comparing the cold and hot throw of a candle made with the same fragrance, as a scent's character can change as the candle burns. It can be helpful to take notes on what you're smelling during different stages of the burn cycle. Some quick notes here. Cure time affects the strength of a scent, so be sure to evaluate the cold and hot throw of your candles after allowing them to cure fully. Different waxes can also yield different impressions of the same fragrance. Natural waxes like soy often have a more robust cold throw, while paraffin waxes are known for their intense hot throw. Always evaluate fragrance oils in the wax you intend to use them in. And now for soap. A fragrance oil blooms and develops nuances during different stages of the soap making process, so it's important to allow soap to fully cure before assessing the fragrance. You may not be able to detect many differences between a fragrance oil on a blotter strip and the way it smells in a freshly made bar of soap. However, you may be surprised by the way it smells after the soap had cured. You really only need to wait 1 day for a melt and pour soap to cure, but cold process can take much longer. Cold process soap can be a harsh environment for fragrance oils, and there are many variables that can affect their performance. It's typically recommended to cure cold process soap for at least 4 weeks. The last thing to note would be any differences in the smell of your soap before and after it forms a lather. Water combines with soap when you use it, releasing scent compounds throughout the air. So, to get a full understanding of a fragrance oil and soap, evaluate it during both dry and lathered phases. As always, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. Stay fragrant, my friends.